Hello students, welcome to Augustine Sir's Educational Library channel. In this channel we are planning to launch some of the videos, and these videos will consist the subjects from the geography, history, polity, economy, environment, science and technology, and international relations, and some other subjects which will include. And apart from this, we are also planning to launch the videos like current affairs videos, and it will be useful for the students, those who are preparing for the competitive exams. In these videos, we are solving the previous year questions. For example, for this geography subject, we will understand the concepts related to the geography, and we will solve all the previous year questions. The previous year questions, usually the questions asked for the exams like UPSC examination, SSC examination, RRB examinations, or for example APPSC, TGPSC. All these questions which are asked in the previous year, we will solve all these previous year questions with concern with that subject. And the most of the videos you will receive in the both, like you will receive the videos in the English language and some videos in the bilingual, which means this will include the languages like both Telugu and English. And here in this video we will see the geography related topics. Especially in the geography, we will see the concepts like insolation, temperature, and inversion topics. Okay, let's go into the topic. Here it is the topic, insolation. What is the insolation? Insolation is nothing but the solar radiation received by the earth. Here it is the earth, and here it is the sun. Usually the earth receives the sun light and heat from the sun, and this is nothing but a insolation. The income solar radiation from the sun is nothing but a insolation. And some of the times the earth also reflects back this radiation into the atmosphere, and it is known as the terrestrial radiation. It is known as a terrestrial radiation. The incoming solar radiation is nothing but insolation, and reflecting back the solar radiation into the atmosphere is nothing but the terrestrial radiation. And this insolation, the insolation which is received from the sun, is also known as the short wave radiation. Short wave radiation, and the terrestrial radiation is known as the long wave radiation. The short waves usually includes the ultraviolet rays and some of the visible rays, and the long waves will include the rays of the infrared rays. Infrared rays. Try to remember this. The insolation received by the sun is nothing but an insolation. Incoming solar radiation is called as the insolation, and it is also known as a short wave radiation. Try to remember, here is S, here is an S. So that the sun's incoming solar radiation is nothing but the short wave radiation, and earth's terrestrial radiation is nothing but the long wave radiation. And some of the factors will decide the actual amount received by the earth. Here it is the sum of the factors. For example, latitude. As we know that here it is earth, and here it is the sun. The earth has the equator at 0 degrees, and it has the tropic of Cancer at 23 degrees and Arctic Circle at 63.5 degrees. Here is the tropic of Cancer, and 90 degrees it has the North Pole. It is at northern side, and southern side at 23 degrees it has the tropic of Capricorn. Here is the Antarctic Circle, and here it is the South Pole. At 90 degrees we have the South Pole. It is in the southern side. So that the earth receives the maximum sunlight insolation at the equator. As we move to the equator to the poles, the radiation received by the earth decreases. And another factor influence the insolation is the length of the day. As we know that the longer day will receive the more insolation. For example, here is the equinox and solstice. Usually we have the equinoxes at March 21st and September 23. These days the day is equals to the night. For example, the daytime it has the duration of 12 hours and night time it has the duration of 12 hours. And another important is June 21st, like solstice. We have the summer solstice at the, in June 21st. In June 21st, we receives the more sunlight at the daytime and as compared to the night time. Here June 21st, the day receives the more sunlight as compared to the night. And winter solstice. Winter solstice usually occurs in December 22nd. In this period, in this time, the daytime receives the less sun rays as compared to the night, so that the duration is day duration is short as compared to the summer solstice. So that summer solstice, the day receives the highest insolation. So that another important factor influence the insolation is length of the day. And the next is about the altitude of the sun. Altitude of the sun, for example, as we know that the earth has the hills and plains. As compared to the plains, the hill areas directly receive the sun rays from the sun, so that these will have the highest insolation. And also we have the noon time. Noon time has the direct sun rays as compared to the morning and evening time, so that this period we will receive the highest insolation. And the next is the atmospheric transparency. For example, if the earth's atmosphere is clear sky, it will receive the more insolation. If the atmosphere is covers with the clouds, dust and air particles, gases, and the insolation will reception of this insolation decreases. And the another important factor is surface albedo. Albedo is nothing but the reflectivity of the surface. For example, we know that snow has the highest reflective index. For example, the sun receives the earth receives the sun rays from the sun. Here the snow part of the earth will reflect nearly 80 to 90% reflect back into the atmosphere. So that here this will have the low insolation. Even it receives, but it reflects back, so that at this stage it have the low insolation. And forest will receive the highest insolation, so that they will have the high. And another important is the earth's distance from the sun. As we know that earth has the perihelion period and aphelion period. Perihelion means here it is the earth and here it is the sun. Perihelion means the earth is closing to the sun, which usually occurs in January 3rd. So that this January month will receive the highest insolation. And in case of aphelion period, in aphelion period, the earth far away from the sun, and which is usually occurs in July month. So that July month receives the lower insolation as compared to the January. And finally we can make some conclusions like distribution of insolation. Here the maximum insolation occurs at the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. Here in this part will has the highest insolation, and minimum at the poles, so that poles has the minimum insolation. And equator gets the uniform, because the year around it has the equal amount of sun rays, because it directly it has the direct sun rays at the equator, so that it is having the uniform insolation. And insolation also has the influence some of the properties like absorption, reflection and scattering. If the atmosphere consists of the ozone gas, CO2, water vapor, and which will absorb the higher amount of ultraviolet rays and infrared rays. And for example, albedo, we know that snow has the nearly 80 to 90% reflective property. Whatever the sun rays it received by the sun, the snow reflects nearly 80 to 90%. the average albedo of the earth is 30 to 35%. And clouds reflects nearly 20% of the radiation received by the sun and reflect back into the atmosphere. And the earth's surface also reflects back nearly 5% of the sun rays. Here I given the example diagram. Here the insolation from the sun, and this earth has the capability to reflect back nearly 5%, and clouds reflect back the 20% of the amount which is received by the earth. And scattering also decides the sky of the color of the sky. For example, the insolation influence the color of the sky. If it is in a clear sky, the sky will appear in the blue color. For example, the atmosphere of the earth will have the clouds, dust, some of the gases particle. It will appear in the color of red. So that the insolation also decides the scattering properties of the earth, and it is also causes the blue sky and red sunset.